What's up everybody? Welcome back to Greener Shoes, the YouTube, now also Instagram channel that talks about sustainability aspects in skateboarding. Today we're at my local skate shop here in Lund, Sweden, called Boardwalk Surf and Street. This is a store I work at and my boss was kind enough to let me record here. Today we're gonna talk about one of the shoes that we've been carrying in the store for a long time, but also a pair of shoes that I've had several pairs of, and the shoes that really started all of this, the Jameson 2 Eco shoes. So we're just going to do a summary today about all the pros and cons and the overall sustainability in these shoes and talk about their application for skateboarding. So to start off with, a big pro is that for Etnies, this has been their best-selling silhouette ever since it first came out in 2011. It's sort of like a lifestyle skateboarding shoe. It's very casual in its use. You can wear it if you dress up or dress down, but either way, this shoe boasts a multifaceted, versatile design that has come out in many iterations to more specific uses, such as in several different types of skateboarding. For example, the Jameson HT that was around a couple of years back, the Jameson Mids, the Jameson 2 not Ecos that uses more suede and tougher materials, and also a bunch of weatherized versions of this shoe. And I can't forget to mention the maybe most green aspect of this shoe is that Etnies recently came out with a preserve model that's supposed to be a little bit more of a greener shoe, even greener than these ones, using the bioplastic bloom foam that they've started using in a bunch of shoes. These shoes are also very comfortable on your feet. They're not too snug, and they also offer a little bit of padding in the collar and the tongue area, and just overall you feel very comfortable in these shoes. On the inside they have a really nice lining as well, very soft, very subtle, sort of like a mesh material, and that covers all of the inside of the shoe. This shoe features a faux Volk cupsole construction with relatively few materials overall. This all equates to a comfortable yet supportive cupsole construction that is still quite flexible and feels good right out of the box. The toe cap of the shoe is very simple, doesn't really have any craziness going on the foxing or any extra layers. Simple, clean toe cap. The shoe also offers a very simple outsole pattern using these small triangular shapes. This tread pattern got carried over to a lot of other shoes as well a couple of years ago, but now that has all seemed to be been taken over by Michelin and that kind of outsole. The kind of outsole you would find on the Muranas and the Jocelyn's and the Veers, I guess. That tread pattern is also very flexible and it offers good connectability and board feel under your feet. The fit of this shoe is sort of narrow in the forefoot. It's very easily adjusted up by the laces because of these metal eyelets that go around here, and so the fit is also easily adjusted, and like I said before, they're comfortable. Usually a lot of these shoes have round laces, which I don't really know how that helps, but it does help. A lot of the colorways of these shoes offer a lot of recycled materials on the upper part and also on the sole. For example, cotton canvas, recycled polyester. They used to do recycled rubber that you could actually see in the soles. I heard that they recycled old water bottles to make laces at one point, but more on all of the sustainability aspects a little later. On Etnies' website, these are under the category of vegan shoes. The vegan category also talks a little bit about the glues in the shoe. And if you want a more aggressive, somewhat of a tougher shoe, they also do a lot of suede alternatives that are still vegan. Just to let you know that they do offer a lot of cool material choices and different colorways and all that stuff of this shoe. Maybe because it's so popular. Another material sourcing rumor that I heard was that apparently they buy all of their leathers and suede from the rests or byproducts from the meat industry with the slaughter and everything. So I guess even the suede you use in the shoes wasn't directly from just overconsumption, you know? So that's cool as well. And not to forget to talk about Etnies as a company. Etnies is skateboarder owned and operated ever since they first started out in '86, I believe. And ever since they started, Etnies has given back immensely to skateboarding, sponsoring skateboarders, of course. For example, Nares Kaupas, the first skateboarder that had a pro shoe in all over skateboarding, and those shoes were Etnies shoes. I actually did a history paper about that back in high school. So Etnies has also built a lot of parks, for example the one in Lake Forest, California, and also they have been sponsoring contests, and they've held a couple of contests as well. For example, the Goofy versus Regular contest that was back around 10 years ago. Pretty cool contest, really interesting concept, and Etnies, they just keep on innovating. So really big up to Etnies Skateboarder, owned and operated. Now to move on with the cons, the overall material use in the upper part is kind of thin, and like I said before, a lot of the materials in this colorway, seeing it's become such a popular model, is not really made for skateboarding specifically, but they can be more on the lighter side, cotton canvas, polyester, materials like that don't really hold up the best against skateboarding, with the grip tape and everything. So they offer a little less protection than, for example, the Muranas or the Jocelyn's. Another thing that's maybe a little bit nitpicky, if you look really closely on the sole of the shoe, you can see that it has sort of a felt material that I find to be kind of slippery when you start skating them, and you really have to like wear that felt material down for a couple of sessions before you can feel the sole of the shoe being fully operational. I looked this up, and I think it has something to do with taxes, because it's a more of a slippery felt material. They can like tax it for slippers and more comfortable shoes. I believe that costs a little bit less, not super sure. And it's really not a big problem, but in the first couple of sessions or so, you notice it a lot, and it's also very hard to get off if you're not skating them. Like I also mentioned before, the fit of the shoe can be more of the tight side or the loose side, but I think because of the toe area and the last of the shoe is so very long, covers most of the shoe, the lacing system is maybe not the most personalized, because most of the shoe is already very snugly fitted. Also, the width of the shoe is kind of on the narrow side, not super narrow. It'll fit most feet, but I've heard some people complaining about sizing. Even though it's a lightweight material and low top construction, I find these shoes to be still kind of warm, and I don't like warm shoes, especially not when you're skating in them. They don't really have any perforations on the side or on the tongue, which isn't a bad thing, but be prepared for warm feet. So, going into more of a sustainability summary, the shoe in its many different iterations usually have a lot of recycled materials in them, which is super cool. For example, the rubber outsole, the PET laces, the polyester on the inside, and some of the cotton on the upper. More specific details on their website, where they say like specific for every type of colorway. And previously on the channel, we've talked a little bit about cotton canvas, and how the fertilizers, water consumption, and agrochemical waste really isn't maybe the best material. Even though it's a natural material, might not be the best out of a sustainability aspect. Another thing that I would be really interested in knowing more about would be the faux vault construction. They call it an egg crate construction, but I haven't yet torn apart a pair of these shoes. If you're interested in watching more of a deconstruction video when looking at the materials and pulling everything apart, let me know. That would be really interesting, because I'm doing my bachelor degree paper in industrial design at Malmö University. We'll see if I have time, but that would be cool. Alright, to talk about one of the reasons why this shoe has made such a big impact on me ever since it came out is not only the recycled materials and all that stuff, they also launched a campaign of buy a shoe, plant a tree, which is super simple, just like it sounds. They do a collaboration started in South America, in Costa Rica for example. That program has reached over into other collections, for example the Barge, the Scouts had it for a while, and I know Etnies has a goal of reaching around 2 million trees planted since 2011, but in the year 2020. So very interesting goal. Good for them. To summarize, to a lot of people, this is a green shoe. At least when they started out, they were one of the most green shoes all over the market, especially in the skateboarding industry. And producing these shoes have really made an impact, not only on the environment, but also the way consumers and skateboarders look at their products. So big ups to Etnies, great inspiration, always very interesting to know more and to see what they will come up with in the future. And we'll see what else they can come up with. Big ups to Rick Marmolino and all of the Etnies family. So what do you think? Are these greener shoes? They're greener than most, right? But what else can be done in designing interesting skate footwear while also maintaining a high sustainability aspect? I would love to hear your thoughts on this shoe. Drop me a like or a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hopefully a lot of more interesting content coming in the near future. Shout out to Boardwalk as well for letting me hang out here. It's always a pleasure. Yeah, keep it green. Ska jag börja spela in? Ja men okej då. Fan alltså. What else? Vegan glues in the shoes. Fan vad det ska vara svårt. But I would love to. Also shout out to Ryan Lay. Sponsored by Boardwalk.